Coming up on this episode of the Nerf This podcast, Leffen's visa issues worked out, Hearthstone card nerfs, the Big House 6, and all about worlds on this episode of the Nerf This podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Nerf This podcast. It's kind of a strange episode today. We don't have a lot of news. We just have two major tournaments to talk about and a couple things that I wanted to discuss since we didn't get a show last week. That's just personal issues with me and Kenny. And luckily today we got to come and wrap up the whole world situation with our friend Sammy. Hi, Sammy. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm super excited about Worlds, but I know you guys have some other stuff to talk about.
Well, you're going to join in the conversation too. Don't worry about that.
I'll try.
And also joining us is, as always, not is always, is Kenny. Hi, Kenny.
What do you mean I'm joining? I'm not here. Shh.
He's being a little strange tonight. I think he's hopped up on sugar. We don't do drugs on this show, so I'm not going to say that. How you doing, Kenny?
No, I'm doing good.
Have you missed me this week?
Hungry, but good. I missed you enough to come bug you all day tomorrow after work, maybe.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
I've been incredibly lonely.
We're building your magic deck.
Yeah, I have a week off of actual physical human adult work, so I've been
Lucky.
Mister who didn't order enough rutabagas at work.
Oh, is that what happened? So I was wondering what was going to come up that I would get shit on. But hey, I'm not there for a week.
I'm the one giving you shit for that.
I know.
You didn't say shit about it.
I know I'm going to get a lot of shit when I get back. But we're not here for that. We're here for esports. This is another episode of the Nerf This podcast where we talk all about competitive gaming and its glory. I got a couple news bits to get out of the way, and then we're going to get on to major tournament discussions. Leffen's visa issues got worked out. This actually happened a little bit before the Big House. We talked about it the last time Sam was on the podcast. Leffen has been having visa issues for exactly 1 year. The tournament that he got told no. Oh, sorry. I forgot to mute my phone. I'm a podcast noob here. Kenny.
Gets to mute things. Jeez.
Kenny, help me!
Mute the damn
We're good! So...
This is why this is usually a recording, right?
Yes. The tournament that Leffen could not attend last year, the one that he got denied at the door, was the Big House 5. So his visa issues got worked out, and he was on the fence about attending Big House 6. He finally decided, okay, I'll come, but I'm not going to try. I'm not going to play Fox. I'm not going to shoot for top 8. I'm not going to stress myself out because I've been out of the U.S. tournament scene for pretty much a year. So he went. I think the only time he used Fox was in crew battles, which was the only one I saw was Sweden versus U.S. or Sweden versus SoCal. And so yeah, Leffen brought out his Fox during that. I guess it's because he was fighting for other people, not himself. During singles, he just played Falco, but we'll talk more about that once I get to the Big House 6. What do you think, Kenny?
Didn't want to... Those are interesting choice of words, I guess.
Didn't want to try?
Yeah, usually that's where they make... kind of in a way, it's where they make their income for some of these players, and it's... especially having so many issues and then finally being able to go, that could have been shown that he could have tried and then been like, hey, yeah, I've been out of the scene for a year, but hey guys, I can still fucking play.
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Leffen's performance during the conversation about Big House 6. I know, I'm going to, full disclosure, Kenny didn't watch any of it. He was busy. and
Yep.
Sam doesn't watch Smash. So I will likely be
Yet.
the one.
Yet.
I will likely be the one leading the conversation with the big house. But to talk about Leffen's performance a little bit later. I agree. He should have tried just because of how much hype they've been building around him coming back and the resurrection. They have an entire YouTube series about it, how he was denied from being the best player because of the U.S. government and all that nonsense. But he does also make his income from streaming, and the sponsors did pay for him to go to the tournament. So he's not really losing anything. I guess this is just a big way to catch up with people, because it was just a few days before Big House that he got his visa back, and yeah, I would be a little intimidated to just have that news dropped on me and then have to grind for like 3 or 4 days, be like, I have to prepare for this tournament. So he just kind of went in casually.
Oh, fucking Colts. It's horrible.
That's another reason we didn't do a podcast last week, by the way.
I was better last week. It's just I was ill prepared. We were ill prepared. That is all.
Ill prepared, but your voice was also shot.
No, it wasn't.
All right.
Logan's voice was shot to hell.
All right, listen. Yeah, we're supposed to have Logan here too, which nobody knows.
Our other special guest is still recovering, so he's doing all right.
Anyway,
but
so that's all.
Back on to news.
That's all I was talking about with Leffen. I'll talk about more about Leffen when the Big House conversation comes up. Hearthstone card nerfs. I wanted to talk so badly about this last week, but because of the podcast interruption, we couldn't do it. So, Rockbiter Weapon gets changed from 1 mana to 2 mana. Let's go. I'm going to list actually all the cards real quick, and then we'll talk about them individually. Rockbiter Weapon, Tuskar Totemic, Call of the Wild, Execute, Charge, Abusive Sergeant, and Yogg-Saron Hope's End. So let's start with Rockbiter Weapon. You sounded excited about that. Do you really think that? Do you really think that a 1 mana increase is going to really shake it up? I think it's still going to be fine.
Oh yes. Oh no, it's going to hurt it because now you no longer have turn 6 lethals. Now you have to wait till turn 7 to go Doomhammer Rockbiter.
And it also discourages using it as an early game removal.
Yep.
So it's kind of because it's kind of
now
like using...
instead of having it turn 1 removal, no, you have to wait, and now you have to find other ways to replace that. And most of the cards that Shaman have for removal end up overloading you.
Yeah, exactly.
Which they don't want.
Because Rockbiter Weapon was an effective answer for other Tunnel Trogs if you were doing the mirror match. It was an effective answer for Mana Worm. It was an effective answer for really any turn 1, 1/3 major card. And also, to what you're saying, they could spell burst your face and then Rockbiter Doomhammer to finish you off early. But now it's going to be a little harder to pull that combo off. I don't know. I don't think that 1 mana is going to make all the difference. I think what's going to make the difference with Shaman is when all of these cards rotate out of Standard. Tunnel Trog is going out.
Yep. So is Totem Golem.
Totem Golem's going out. I thought Tuskar Totemic was going out. I don't know why I thought that, but
no.
Speaking of Tuskar Totemic.
Yeah.
It went from summon any random totem, so you could get Flame Tongue, you could get Manatide Totem, you could get Totem Golem, you could get all of that, and now it's just summon a random basic totem. Which
Totem Golem was the strongest one you could pull out of it in Arena. So
it's
that's where you drop.
It's a high tempo swing.
Oh god, yes, especially in Arena. And now that it's basics, it makes it a little better in a sense, because now, especially putting it with your hero power, depending on how it interacts with that, it may then only have your hero power take out of whatever is left out of the 4 totems it can summon.
Yeah,
and have that count towards its pool. Therefore, you have a better chance of pulling exact ones.
It likely won't do doubles. Like I'm sure they thought of that. I don't think it'll be like you use your hero power on the same turn you're gonna lay a totemic. and you get spell damage, and then you play the totemic and you get spell damage again. That would be a little strange. I assume that they account for that. They take how many totems or what kind of totems you have on the board and they rule them out. Unless you have all 4, and then you just get another copy of whatever one.
Yeah, no, I think it'll still work on the same principle of what it did before.
Yeah,
it's just
how the hero power worked.
If you play it first, however, it's the hero power, I think, that's going to then calculate based on what it drops.
They both have the same properties, because I know the hero power did that. They've done that since Classic, where it won't double up your totems. Like, one turn you'll get taunt, and then the next turn you'll get taunt again, even if the taunt didn't die, whatever. I think this is the best Shaman nerf to come out of this patch, because Tuskar Totemic was either a huge tempo swing or a huge burst swing, or even draw. They're like three of the 7 outcomes were really good for Tuskar Totemic.
Yep. And they happen more than 50% of the time.
Oh usually. Yeah, I don't think I think I got basic totems like once or twice. Kenny's dying over there.
I got them every game. But yeah.
Call of the Wild, genius nerf. This is the one where I think the 1 mana increase is perfect, because now it no longer combos with your hero power or any other 2 mana big thing like Abusive Sergeant and stuff like that.
Abusive Sergeant was never 2.
He's not 2?
No, Abusive Sergeant has always been 1. He wouldn't be running Zoo if he was 2.
You're right. Why did I think Abusive Sergeant was 2?
I don't know.
I'm not well prepared for this. But
you are not prepared.
Still, Call of the Wild is a really good nerf because the hero power thing, and because now you have to wait an extra turn for this big swing. Because Call of the Wild, I saw this card that said that this is how they should have nerfed Call of the Wild, was summon 3 random animal companions so you can get 3 Huffers technically if you wanted to, but that's even worse.
Yeah, because 4, 8, 12 damage to face?
Exactly.
No.
It's just a massive swing. But I think that this 1 mana increase is perfect because it delays it a turn, you can prepare better for it, and you can't do small things with it. Except, I guess, apparently Abusive Sergeant, you can do it. We're still not very well prepared for this. Execute was another one of those 1 mana bumps. Don't think it's necessary. Execute.
I do believe that it is. Because when you have clear ways in the Warriors kit to proc Execute without having to sacrifice minions or any of that other or anything else,
yeah,
it puts it drops their power a little bit, but it now also makes them think more on when to use the Execute.
It's true,
They're no longer just, the first thing, remove it.
How often were you using Execute on turn 1, 2, or 3?
Quite frequently, actually. It also depended on what deck I was playing against.
Yeah. Because I never got scared of
when
anything until about turn 4 or 5. Then you can execute your Flame Wreath Faithlesses or like major threats. And that's what I save Execute for, because it's a hard removal. Most of my other things can be removed through other means, like bash.
Yes,
slam.
But it also depended on what kind of hand you had as well.
Yeah.
If you had an aggressive enough hand where you could kill them by turn 5 or 6, you didn't care.
Yeah, I guess if you're playing one of those mid-range or aggro-heavy warrior decks, this might affect them pretty hard. But in a control warrior, which is the norm, I don't feel this really shakes it up at all. Because you have your fiery war axes for the early game, you have your slams and your bashes, effectively strong charge minions to trade very well. I don't know. I think it was unnecessary. It does depower them a little bit because I agree that warriors are a pain in the ass to go against. But I figure maybe they could nerf something like their armor gain or something like that. And it kind of goes into the next one here too, charge. Why did charge need a nerf? Besides...
Charge didn't overly get a nerf?
It did.
It got a buff.
No, it didn't. Because it says give a friendly minion charge, it can't attack heroes. So the only thing they were stopping from that is the OTK Worgen warrior. That deck is useless now.
It wasn't that strong to begin with anyway.
I agree. It wasn't prominent on the ladder. Only a few people ran it in tournament. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
I don't see the reason that charge wasn't swinging the meta, so I think it's just kind of a... Now people are interested in using it in a control sense, but I still think it's an unnecessary nerf. Nerf/buff.
Yeah. Excuse me. But yeah, I feel now like this can, in a sense, have a different dynamic. Like, for example, now that execute costs 2, well, maybe you can run a 1-cost death touch creature. Maybe running a different set of cards and then having a different theme now also added because of this, the way charge has been changed.
Yeah, it is true that you can you can run those. I forget what it's called. It doesn't have a name, does it?
Warsong Commander. No, there's Warsong Commanders.
No, I mean the death touch thing. It doesn't have a name in Hearthstone, does it? It's still just death touch, or we call it death touch because we play Magic. But
yeah, no, I don't think it has a name.
But yeah, I think that's an interesting interaction that you can use charge for.
The other thing is it now brings more value to Warsong Commander again.
How do you mean?
Because it gives a minion charge, meaning the minion now the 2 damage that charge used to give is now just on another card. Since they had changed what Warsong Commander did from the creatures 3 or less power get charge to now all creatures with charge gain 2 power.
Rest in peace, Patron Warrior. Those were some good days.
Well, depending, it might possibly bring something back like that.
No, I'm talking about Warsong Commander nerf. I get sad every time I think about it.
I know, but I'm thinking it might bring back another idea similar to something like that in the future, possibly, depending on what they release in the next set.
Yeah, the next set's going to really define how these nerfs play out because a lot of things are going to rotate out of standard. We don't know. These nerfs could be perfect for the upcoming standard. Abusive Sergeant going down to a 1/1. I think it's good because it was an auto-include in every aggressive deck. And if you didn't deal with it right away, you had 2 damage come into your face. So... And it effectively traded with a lot of 2 and 3 drops. So I think that the 1/1 nerf, exact same as Knife Juggler, I think it serves its purpose.
No, well, it wasn't nerfed like Knife Juggler. It was nerfed as Leper Gnome.
And Leper Gnome.
Leper Gnome. Yeah, Leper Gnome was the 2/1.
Knife Juggler got the exact same treatment. Went from a 3/2 to a 2/2.
Oh, yeah. In a sense, I guess, yeah.
So, exact same treatment. And the big one that everyone's talking about is Yogg-Saron. Yogg-Saron, if he kills himself, if he gets sent back to your hand, if he polymorphs himself, anything that he does to himself that makes him not on the board anymore stops casting. What do you think?
Rip 3/4 of the Yogg-Saron decks.
Rip a lot of the decks we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Token Druid.
Those are
Tempo Mage.
Oh.
Mid-range
Because
Hunter.
it was it was literally as it states here in their little quirk about the card that Tempo Mage, Token Druid is where it was especially better. And because it was a lot more spells than every other deck.
And it was incredibly strong because it provided a level of board clear, draw, buff that no other card in those classes could really amount to.
Exactly.
You could get a multitude of board clears that would just ensure that you have a good board state for setup for next turn. You could draw 50,000 cards, everything that you need. And sure, it's random, but it's a level of random that is able to measure out, because you can look at the pool of spells that are available for Yogg-Saron to cast, and a lot of them are beneficial for you. Even if you Pyroblast yourself in the face, you might draw a card, get a taunt, Call of the Wild, Thistle Tea, Farsight. A lot of really beneficial cards. Gang Up being another one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't like the nerf because it's kind of anti-fun, and I think that Blizzard doesn't try to be anti-fun. But it's because the community found a way to make this card broken that it can no longer be fun.
Not as fun.
Not as fun.
Still fun, but
I really enjoyed Yogg-Saron. I really did. So, rest in peace, Yogg-Saron. You will be missed.
as
Okay.
I start building more Yogg-Saron decks.
I've done a lot of talking, so I'm going to throw it to you guys. Do you want to do Worlds first, or do you want me to just blab about Big House for 30, 40 minutes? No, not 30, 40 minutes, but I'm going to try to make it quick, but I have a feeling I'm going to do most of the talking.
We'll just leave it for the end.
Okay, sure.
I'm sure Sammy is just waiting.
Sammy.
I'm good listening to you guys. I may not play Hearthstone, but I get perks with Hearthstone. So, and I just gave them to Corey.
And I want to give a personal shout out on this podcast live. We're recording to Samantha, who gave me Tyrant when I don't have Twitch Prime.
It's free.
But apparently she does.
Yes.
So I got Tyrant, and I'm very happy about that. I play a lot of Priest, so.
That's awesome.
And I'm
just glad that you can use it because I can't.
Yeah, I've already got quite a bit of use out of her. I went through the first game I joined. I just spammed a bunch of emotes because I liked hearing her talk. Yeah. So I was really happy about that. Okay, Sam, take the floor. Hi. Talk about Worlds.
Oh, okay. So let's have a talk about Worlds. Rip my pick'ems. Rip my
I shall
pick'em.
be victorious.
So out of the three of us, I'm the only one who didn't do
this.
I
did. So group stage has officially wrapped up after 2 weekends of just upsets and dreams fulfilled, dreams not realized, dreams completely dashed. Talking
destroyed,
about TSM,
smothered, stomped on, whatever you want to do. Done.
So before we hop into the bowl of shenanigans that is now quarterfinals, let's look at groups from a strictly NA centric point of view because we live in NA.
A completely NA biased opinion.
So nothing but one group.
Nothing but one group. No. CLG was extremely forgettable, going 3-3. I can't remember any of their games. I can't remember a single play from any of their games. They were that forgettable, and they shouldn't have even been at Worlds, as per last podcast when I mentioned.
Can I ask, is CLG Counter Logic Gaming?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. So we have a couple smashers in Counter Logic Gaming that I'm going to talk about too.
I mean, Free LG is a very real thing here, but so is Free SM, and I've gotten a lot of flack. From my community for talking about TSM in a negative light over the years. But I'm
on board with you.
I mean, at least this podcast supports my views. So they had an okay showing first week. They had a messy showing second week, and it ended up in a third place loss for them. And one thing I really want to highlight is the fact that Double Lift called them out. Like their own AD carry called them out on stage saying we shouldn't have won these games, in the games that they got.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Right?
At least Double Lift wasn't being the usual douche. He can be.
He can be a usual douche, but he lost the game for a lot of them.
Like that one Jin game that he played and went to go visit the Malzahar 4 times.
Right.
For stupid reasons.
Right?
Regardless.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They were favored to come out of their groups, regardless of the fact that they were first seed in NA. They were favored on a world stage to come out of groups because they had such an easy group stage in comparison to the likes of C9 or CLG. And they dropped the ball because TSM performs better on a best of series. They don't perform very well when it's a 1v1 or a one game type off thing. Words are hard today.
Words are always hard.
Words are always hard.
Hey, why do you think I didn't want to talk for 50 minutes straight?
It's okay.
This is why you have co-hosts, right?
Exactly. If I did this by myself, god damn, would I get sick of my own voice.
No, you wouldn't. You love your sexy voice.
I do love my own voice. I do like hearing myself talk. But filling an entire podcast would just be... Don't
I know
that.
people who do it.
You just wouldn't edit anything because you would hate hearing it again.
Yeah, you're right. I'd just post it raw and be like, you guys deal with it. I don't care anymore.
Deal with it. I'm done. This is the finished product. It's shit, but here. So let's talk about the last remaining NA hope, which was C9.
Are we going to talk about week one? Because I want to actually sound like I know what I'm talking about.
What?
Are we going to talk about week one? Because I want to actually know. I want to actually sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Let's talk about week one with C9. Okay, let's talk about C9 in general. The fact that they are the only NA team to come out of group stages into the quarterfinals. Granted, rip their quarters. Like, completely rip.
Yeah, they're done.
They're done.
If they make it past this, they can prove us wrong.
Well, why do you say that? Because I haven't read the fire.
Because they're playing Samsung Galaxy.
Okay, so right now, in the group stages as they were, Samsung Galaxy was in Group D with TSM.
Mm-hmm.
Samsung Galaxy pulled the same record as SKT of 5-1.
It's 5-1.
SKT pulled 5-1 week one
in Group B.
Really?
No, for the 2 weeks. Yes, they won a 5-1 record.
Because what the hell is
the only one they lost? Yeah, the only one they lost to was Flash Wolves, am I right?
Yes.
Korean Kryptonite. Here we go.
Because I watched that.
Yep.
That game.
I made you watch it.
I know. And I enjoyed
it's
that
funny
game.
that the Korean Kryptonite doesn't make it out.
It's one of the few times that you can cheer for the underdogs and the underdogs overperform.
I had on our community page. I had a status post that awkward moment where you're cheering for the underdogs and they happen to be all Korean teams. My NA trash talk. So
we all have that.
So the first week, C9 pulls out a 70-minute game against IMA.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, Corey, you watched that one.
I watched that one.
They shouldn't have won that game.
That's incredible. That they could.
Isn't that insane?
Like, okay, so I don't watch a lot of League, I'll be honest.
Pretty sure it wasn't IMA. Pretty sure it was Flash Wolves.
It was Flash Wolves.
It was IMA. Was it?
No.
Oh,
it was Flash Wolves.
It was not IMA. IMA was the short game.
When Kenny's...
Right.
Because Kenny was talking to me about it at work, and I knew that sounded weird. Because there was a C9 versus IMA, right? Or was it Flash Wolves?
Yeah.
No, they all played each other twice.
Yeah, because I watched C9 versus IMA as well. But the Flash Wolves Cloud9 thing, I don't watch a lot of League, and I don't know what the average game is supposed to go to, but...
It depends on region. As they commentated, it depends on region.
The way that it started, it looked like Flash Wolves was stomping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they can't...
So much.
They should have won, but they don't know how to close a game.
Yeah, but they couldn't do anything.
EU is the new NA.
They were in a prime position. They had double buff, and they were in the base. And then they just couldn't do it. They got pushed out.
They couldn't do it. No.
Exactly. And the fact that they got pushed out having both Elder Dragon,
Yes.
and Baron?
Yes.
It's like, oh my god, you guys.
Like,
How do you come from 3 inhibitors down?
And then 2 games later, they beat SKT.
the world,
What?
the previous world champion, right? SKT was the previous world champion.
Yeah.
Like
2 years running.
2 years running.
2 years running.
And then,
Yes.
Yes.
like, what are they doing? Because they had the exact same start against SKT that they did Cloud9. They were dominating, but they just were able to actually close it. Whereas,
Because they nerfed the hell out of Faker.
yeah,
That's all you have to do to beat SKT is body Faker.
that was hilarious.
Win game.
At the beginning, I'm
Well-
like, they're bullying Faker, and then I'm like, okay, now I see
Faker,
why.
Faker was also being cocky.
Well,
You
yeah,
could tell
It's
that
Faker.
game.
If you played as good as Faker, don't you think that you were entitled to a little bit of cocky?
if you heard the way that the commentators
yeah.
were talking about
What?
Faker, that is the reason he's cocky, because people are feeding this information that he's the best mid lane, right? He's mid lane.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're feeding information that he's the best mid laner of all time. If you hear that enough, you'll believe it, and you'll start feeling confident that nobody else can outperform you.
Last year at Worlds, his main goal, when they did a pregame interview with him, he said one of his main goals was to make sure that everybody knew his name.
Apparently,
And
everybody
he
knows
did
his
it.
name.
Faker senpai, please.
Popular.
Everyone knows your name in the LOL community.
Yep. Exactly.
So that being said, Cloud9 got carried out with SKT, and the way that
Wow.
that worked was because SKT won 5-1, D9 got to be carried pretty much by SKT to the quarterfinals.
They were like, hey, we have a cloud SKT. Here, borrow a cloud, please. You can
Please,
fly on our
please.
cloud.
please take us.
Yep.
2 other teams that I really want to highlight, what the hell is a Flash Wolf for taking care of SKT, or taking the only game off of SKT. Although C9 had a really, really good game against SKT the second week. It was actually pretty good. It wasn't just a raffle stomp like it was the first time.
Oh no, well, when you learn what they kind of do, you can kind of play against it. Right?
Well, I mean, you could try to teach that, but TSM wouldn't listen. Anyways. Moving on from bashing TSM completely, let's talk about Albus Nox Luna for a second, okay?
Underdogs. All the way.
Cinderella story, right?
Oh
This
god,
is
yeah.
one of the only 2 international wildcard teams to make it to Worlds this year, and they only really ever get 2. But they're
They can get to Worlds, period.
right. The fact that they even got to Worlds is an amazing feat in itself. The fact
They
that
didn't even
they
have to make it out of group stages, and they would have been famous. But
I mean,
making it
real
out of
talk.
group stages now, it's like,
It's the first
the
time
fu-
an international wildcard team has ever made it out of groups.
oh god, yes, and not
And it's
been
amazing.
and not been Splice's score.
So they made it
Not
out
worse.
of groups, but how far do you honestly think they're going to make it?
I'm
That
hoping
if they
all the
keep
way.
playing, if they possibly keep playing the way they do, I can at least see them making it to semis.
Mm-hmm.
And depending, we're not going to say that there's a possible, but there might be a small chance for C9 to make it out.
Yeah.
If C9 makes it out, Albus
Fingers
Nox
crossed.
might be able to surprise C9 and take it
So,
over them.
so that was actually my follow-up question. So you think that C9 is the Albus Nox kryptonite?
No, I'm saying Albus Nox is going to, as long as they do properly in the pick ban phase, they should outdo C9.
Oh, they should.
Even though
outdo
C9 has,
So
yes.
who is the anti Albus Nox? Like, who should they worry about meeting up with?
SKT.
SKT.
Do you think
SKT
straight
all
up
the way.
SKT?
Oh yeah.
SKT is the only thing that anybody really needs to worry about, except
Well-
C9 needs to worry about Samsung Galaxy. If C9 can get ahead and actually close games out properly and figure out how Samsung Galaxy plays, and they get out of quarters and go on to semis,
hmm
Well,
I think they'll be riding such a high that nothing could stop them.
well,
Not even SKT.
Well, Flash Wolves shown how you can beat SKT. So I think
Exactly.
I think that all these teams are going to study that a little bit, and
Hope so.
and maybe change their game plan against the reigning world champion, because they have a giant target on their back, being the world champion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the team that everyone's shooting for.
But the other thing is, yes, they can look at that game. They'd be like, okay, these are kind of some of the fine points we can use. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the teams can necessarily play that exact team comp or understand how the mechanics of that team comp work, because they haven't practiced it.
That is true.
Whereas
Speaking
maybe Flash Wolves practiced a shit ton of that comp because they knew, okay, we'll leave these picks because we know they're going to prioritize them, and then we know how to counter it.
Speaking of, though, with Albus Nox Luna bringing out a freaking brand support, they might be able to completely wreck any competition. If you're willing to play an unconventional support that gives you 5 carries on the team, potentially.
You were pretty excited about that.
Like Samson did as well. Samson
Right?
pulled that as well, because they brought in the Zyra.
I mean, Zyra's been a support flex pick for a while.
She's been that bottom lane bully pick, but it's the point of that she hasn't been seen in so long. Coming back into Worlds and being seen again, it's like...
I'm waiting for Yorick. I'm waiting for Yorick.
I was talking about Lee Sin with Kenny, and I was under the understanding that he was a weak character.
It depends. If you are, like all of the casters said, if you're a bad Lee Sin, it will show extremely fast.
So
if you're a good Lee Sin, it shows too. So it depends on how comfortable you are.
Yeah, he's one of those champions that has a high skill ceiling, essentially.
Yes. Oh, yes. High skill cap. Oh.
There's a reason why it's called Lee Syndrome. You don't always take your cue. You don't always take the Poro either.
No.
I was impressed by that in week 1.
And the bar that people have against them, in a sense, for this high ceiling is all due to a player called Insect, who used to be a part of... Can't remember. I don't want to say SKT. I think he was in original Samson team, was he not? He was either in Samson or...
I gotta look this up.
Royal.
Fact checking on the podcast. All right, Kenny,
I'd rather be proper, but
lead a little bit of conversation for us while.
Yeah. He was the player that set Lee Sin to such unbelievable heights on the mechanical aspect of it, that he made him look. He played him, and it looked like a flawless machine playing it that had almost no errors.
He was on RNG. He was also on KT Rolster, which is now Rocks Tigers.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, you would see him do things that other people would dream of doing. Like, some people try doing it now, and
they can't.
No, you can't do it to his perfection, because he put so much time into the champion itself that it was just unbelievable to watch. It was just so nice watching him play it.
So, yeah, because my limited understanding of League is that you do not main a champion. You main a position. You main a position, yeah. Exactly. But this guy sounds like the guy who mained a champion and pretty much made how that champion plays.
Some of the stuff that happens with it, yes. It was a jungle pick.
Yeah.
Because that was his role, so he made it look really, really well in that role.
And that's pretty much all you see Lee Sin played, right? Is jungle.
Oh, yeah. And to bring up the term that, as you mentioned, people not maining a character, the way that the word maining is kind of brought into the League scenario is it's a pocket pick that you're comfortable on.
Right.
So, like, bringing up, like, Street Fighter, or Smash, for example, where, like, multiple players have 2 or 3 characters, yeah, they're really good with one of them, but maybe their pocket pick, like for Armada, he'll play Fox.
Right.
a whole bunch. But his pocket pick is that Peach.
No, his pocket is the fox. His main is the peach.
Oh, was it Fox?
Yeah.
Okay.
He only brings fox
he'll
out
save...
against Puff and certain floaty matchups.
Okay. But yeah, it still brings it to the point that they've got one or two champions. The ones that aren't touched usually are just saved, and then it's like, okay, I know I can play this. So if the other thing I want to play is gone, and we feel like we want more comfort, then we know we have this to fall on,
Right.
and it's not something that's prioritized most of the time. So
And when you have people like Albus Nox Luna who bring a brand in, you have no idea if they're going to bring any kind of other champion into that role that isn't supposed to be their role, right?
yeah, exactly.
So I honestly I can't wait to see what Albus Nox does.
That'll definitely be the talk of quarters for sure.
He quickly became my favorite player next to Sneaky, because I love the sneakers, but
He
Licrit is fantastic.
Speaking of Sneaky though, he seemed to be quite off his
Super off.
game this for Worlds.
But
it's
in
also
the second day, yeah.
Oh yeah, it also seems that going to kind of how C9 usually did stuff. It seems that they've adapted more of whoever's more ahead will funnel everything into them for them to help us if we have to go late game, to carry us to the point where, okay, now everyone's hitting their thresholds after the one person already hit it, so now we can support you more type of deal. Like where Jensen in that 70-minute game versus Flash Wolves didn't die.
True.
And so showing that endurance on his end, plus beating his CS, the world CS record in League.
I mean,
right?
I'll hail the Jensen.
Yeah.
But Licrit is definitely a support character to watch in the coming years, not only for his gameplay or his weird ass support picks, but for his interviews afterwards. He this won my heart, and I don't care if I sound like a softie for this. I am a girl after all. But he shouted out to G2, who went 0-5. They didn't win a single game, but he made sure to shout out to them and say, hey guys, they did their best, and they actually did their best. They came out and they fought hard, no matter what kind of situation they were thrown at. Did they win a game?
Yep.
They won one?
1-5. Yep, they're same as Splice. 1-5.
We're not talking.
How many did Flash Wolves win?
Flash Wolves won 2.
2.
Yes.
Who was the other one?
It came off
SKT and
IMA.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Flash Wolves were my favorite team. Because and it was strictly because while I was watching, I was rooting for the underdog, and they impressed me. They impressed me. If you could impress me within the first 10-15 minutes of a league match, you got my heart. So the very first match I watched was Flash Wolves versus C9, the 60-70 minute game. So just seeing their start against such a team that in my head is very well known, and Flash Wolves was not known for me at all. I fell in love with them, so I'm kind of sad that they only went 2.
Yeah.
But I have C9 to look forward
SKT.
to. I have C9 to look forward
exactly.
to. And since my boy Mango's on C9, I have to root for C9. It's C9 or die.
Except if C9 hits Elvis Nox, then sorry, America.
My heart will burst. I don't know who to root for at that point. I'm just gonna turn it off and I'm gonna walk away, and that's just gonna be it.
But we're gonna make sure that anything and everything you can look at, it will be there.
So moving.
I mean, I have a
taunting
pretty baller background right now, so let's C9 all the way.
But it's not Elvis Nox's support.
I mean, we're not going to talk about the pictures I have on my phone. Anyways, let's Let's quickly break down how everything ended up. So in Group A, you had Rocks Tigers, Albus Nox Luna coming out, first and second seed. Group B, SKT and Cloud9, obviously. Group C, H2K and Edward Gaming. And Group D, Samsung Galaxy and Royal Never Give Up. So our quarter matchups are best of 5, which is pretty awesome. You have SKT versus RNG, Rocks Tigers against Edward Gaming, Samsung Galaxy against Cloud9, H2K versus Albus Nox Luna. So if you have predictions, head over to the Pick'em site, body your competition. I've already, this podcast, I'm already, ripped me. But that's okay. I'm going to make up for it, hopefully.
We'll see. Because you got a ways to catch up, don't you?
So I kind of want to talk a little bit about that best of 5 thing. How much do you think the best of 5 is going to come into the results? Because everybody played each other twice, right, in groups. Am I right?
But that was only one game.
Right. And so now that they have this best of 5 to think about how the previous matches went and stuff like that, how do you think people like C9 are going to do? How do you against obviously a strong team like Samsung Galaxy? And how do you think? What do you think? Who does the best in a best of 5 scenario out of all these teams?
C9 does pretty good because they can adapt their gameplay. Yeah. SKT does well no matter what.
Best of 1, best of 5, whatever.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for SKT. They'll do it in 3 games.
So that's what I'm talking about, actually. Is because in the games that I play, the longer sets go on, certain people are consistent. They're great from game 1 to game 5. But some people need 2 or 3 games under their belt to really know or really feel it out and know what they're doing against that team specifically.
TSM.
So exactly, and you can point to them. So, do you think that this best of 5 going forward, you're going to see a lot different from what you saw on the Worlds or at the beginning, the group stages, or do you think that pretty much whoever had a strong showing on the group stages is going to have a strong showing throughout?
I think
no, not quite.
Well,
because now at this point, it's going to be. This also depends on whether or not in these games the subs are allowed.
Yes,
because
they
if
are.
they are allowed, they are allowed. Okay,
yes,
so that's also going
subs
to make
are allowed
difference.
throughout the entire tournament.
Oh yeah, it's just no. You would never do it in best of 1s. No.
I mean,
yeah.
SKT did. I may had to.
Did SKT pull Faker out for 1 game?
They didn't pull Faker out, but they were rotating their top 80 carries and their supports.
Okay,
yeah.
So they swapped. Okay, I didn't realize they swapped out their top.
Yeah, and
top
Aimee was forced to.
Because what happened with that? By the way.
So Road is a toxic beast. On a global scale, his team got fined $2,000 and he had to sit out for 1 game.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
They
actually
funny.
did not too bad.
Welcome to what happens. Speaking of toxic players, Forgiven used to be one until he got a stern talking to.
What was Corey saying last time we were recording a podcast? Corey was saying how cancer the League of Legends community was. I guess he was pretty right, wasn't he?
Specific players, yes.
So
otherwise, it's good.
In regards to your question, though, I don't think that a best of 5 series will hurt any of these teams necessarily. I can't pick one that would actually not have a benefit from playing a team at least 3 times. But SKT rolls face, and they will do it in 3 games. I will bet any amount of money they will roll over RNG in 3 games.
Yeah, seeing that as the matchup would be.
Yeah.
It just seems that SKT has that in the bag. It almost seems like they have it too easily.
Game. It's a mental game.
Yeah.
Oh yes. The only team that would definitely be interesting to see would be Albus Nox.
Because nobody ever watches anything international.
Yeah, international is very unwatched, and I don't even think they went and did the I don't even think they went 5 games in there. Okay, we're better now.
Kenny,
I was like,
Kenny
oh,
is
God.
suffering today.
No, I'm not. I'm fine.
How is
I was
their
suffering
opponent?
yesterday.
How is their opponent? H2K.
H2K?
H2K?
It's the only European team to make it out of groups, so
Yeah.
same boat as C9. But they stomped.
God,
They stomped all over the group.
I feel really bad for European League of Legends fans now, because us NA, we got a shot. But since H2K is their only shot at the championships,
yeah,
they're kind of boned.
But the issue being, because I don't think they had short games at all in any of theirs. Yeah, all of theirs was long, because that is the EU
That is the
standard
EU
right now.
style.
We
Yeah.
were talking about that the commentator said that's a usual thing in the EU.
Yeah, where it's
competitions.
like 50, 60-minute games,
Right.
because...
Where you buy a Zerat, you sell an item, buy a Zerat, and then go back and
rebuy your items.
rebuy that item.
Right.
It's the EU strategy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Quick Shot.
Right? It's horrible. We wish... But not a whole lot we can do there.
All right.
Otherwise...
So look at all 4 of the matchups and give me who's coming out of each one.
SKT, Rocks Tiger, Samsung Galaxy, Albus Nox Luna.
You don't believe in Cloud9?
I believe in Cloud9. I'm not getting my hopes up, though. It's Samsung Galaxy, bro.
I'm gonna have to agree with that one.
We call that, in the fighting game community, we call it commentator's curse, where if you say something is going to happen, it'll happen. So if you say that Samsung Galaxy is coming out, they're going to come out. Don't do that.
But if it is a commentator's curse, we'll see what the desk votes, because we've also seen that curse in Worlds where the desk votes 3 votes for the one team and that team loses.
Oh.
So
Opposites
there was-
in League of Legends.
TSM.
oh yes, there was a lot of that.
A lot of TSM votes.
Like all of week 1, like the first day was major upsets where every time the desk picked all of them onto one team, that team lost.
Man, they must be doing as bad as Sammy for pick'ems.
Right?
Yes.
I'm actually... out of all the celebrity casters and whatnot, I am actually above, I'm above Shox and I'm above Deficio, and the only person that's above me right now, because he's a dick, is Crepo.
Ha! Scumbag Crepo strikes again.
Right?
Also, the reason kind of going to why he's called Scumbag Crepo was when he played League professionally, he was a support character. Well, when a support takes a kill when they're not supposed to...
It's not kill steal, it's kill
It's
secured.
kill secured, which is where he got the name Scumbag Crepo, because he would literally flash for the kill that his attack damage carry was going to get, or a carry was going to get, and he's like, mine, and then dies for it.
He's like, no, I want that.
Exactly, yeah.
That sounds like a lot of my supports. They do that to me. Anyways, so Thursday, this coming Thursday,
Right.
is Samsung Galaxy and C9. Friday is SKT and RNG. Saturday, Rocks Tigers and EDG. And Sunday is H2K and Albus Nox Luna.
God,
I'm personally excited for Thursday, Sunday.
I think I might be tuning in on Thursday. That does sound pretty exciting.
Viewing party?
Hey, I'm down.
Yes!
I would love to as
I
well.
usually have a Skype call going for all of Worlds.
I know.
I don't like big Skype calls. Even this is too much for me.
Well, fun.
I love you
going
guys
back-
to death.
Yeah, of course you do. You better. Jesus. Going back to kind of casters' picks, since I didn't kind of mention mine, I'm gonna go SKT. I'm gonna have to give it, I feel, presuming they played as well as I saw them play, I'm gonna have to give it to Edward Gaming over Rocks.
We'll see about that one. I'm gonna be
especially on both of them being from the same region. And then SSG, Elvis. My last two.
I hate voting against C9. I really do.
It breaks my heart to hear you say that.
I know. It breaks my heart too. Maybe I'll change my pick'ems.
Well, all I'm gonna say is whatever you pick for the most part, unless it's a iffy throw up, I'm gonna just go opposite of you, so that when you lose, I'll get all the points.
At least now you know how to counter pick properly, because you know the person who's getting the least amount of points here. You can just see those as the bad choices.
Right, but you have to lock in your pick'ems before it starts. So
I'm not
like
doing.
what, a day left?
That sounds like a lot of work.
Lock in your pick'ems, Corey.
Yeah, do it. All you do is. Oh wait, does Corey have a League of Legends account?
I do. I have multiple because I keep forgetting them.
Smurfing confirmed. Smurfing confirmed.
Maybe I'm amazing and nobody knows it because nobody knows it.
Corey's actually a master player. He just doesn't do anything about it.
It's possible.
I mean, nobody's seen Corey and Faker in the same room, right?
That's true. You don't know where I am right now. I could just be a green screen behind me, and this is my pretend room. I'm actually Faker.
Except me and Sammy don't see you. Therefore,
you're just a voice coming through.
How do you know? I took this week off. You have no idea.
You're a spooky ghost. You're a spooky ghost. That confirmed.
I could have taken this week off to go to play some League of Legends. And the person that was there at work with you last week, Kenny, was not me.
Obviously.
Clearly.
Oh, okay, sure. So that means you just pulled a Lelouch Viva Britannia on all of us and knew exactly what we were going to say at the exact moments.
Yeah, I had pre-recorded voice clips to answer everything that you were going to say to me.
Of course.
Yeah.
And then totally going with podcast things. But proceeding on as we should be.
Yes. I still have to talk about Big House.
I know.
Get on that, bro.
No. Finish it up.
We're pretty much done with that.
You're done. Okay. So I'm gonna be watching Thursday. I know you guys are gonna be watching Thursday. I may try to catch some more since there's no major tournament. Well, there is major tournaments this week for me for Smash. I think Smash Summit is this week. We talked about that before. And this is my subtle segue into a Smash tournament known as the Big House 6. Oh my god. Okay, Big House is never a disappointment. Big House is okay. If you guys are looking for a tournament to watch all the previous Big Houses and watch this one because they're always amazing. Big House 6. Okay, this is the new gold standard for tournaments for the Smash scene. The production level was high, at like normal esports high. Like every other fighting game tournament besides Evo has relatively this underground look where it's very community run. There's not a lot of sponsors. There's not a lot of big names. It's just strong players and community members throwing this big smash bash, essentially. The Big House had post-game analysis. It had interviews, like post-match interviews and commentary interviews and stuff like that. It had behind-the-desk cameras so that you could see what was going on behind the desk and stuff like that. And just the stages were laid out so much better than any other tournament I've seen before. How it had like 3 or 4 setups up there, and just the camera work felt really good. They had this guy running around with a steady camera, so you didn't just have static player cameras. You literally had like all angles of the players. It was pretty dope. Main people I want to talk about today that attended Big House 6. Leffen, obviously. We already kind of covered it at the beginning. But I want to talk more about it. Team
We'll give him some resignation.
Team Solo mid Leffen, for those of you who don't like Team Solo mid. Mr. G2 West Balls himself. This is the first. I think this is the first tournament where West Balls is signed by G2 and not by Tempo Storm. A plethora of Marth players: the Moon, Pew Pew Yu, Rudolph, a Japanese Marth that flew out to the big house, and Zane. Marth play is stepping up. So Marth is now considered the anti-Fox. Whereas everybody before was moving towards Fox because he was the high tier. Marth is the direct counter to Fox. Bring him to FD, you can infinite chain grab him. This is why I didn't want to talk. I have something in my throat. And just in general, Marth is a hard counter to Fox. The spacing on Marth, the easy edge guards, that's hard to say that 5 times fast. And just in general, Marth is such a good pick over Fox. I feel like Marth wins that matchup on every stage, hands down. And I kind of want to talk about Chillin' Dude. So Chillin' Dude, all in all, is a very uninteresting player. He's been playing since the beginning of this game, and he hasn't really won a major ever. However, a few years back at Apex 2014, he called out Leffen with a diss track. An actual rap that he wrote about how shit Leffen is.
Oh!
This rivalry has lasted 2 years, and the Big House 6 is the end of it. They made up. Okay, so I'm going to break this down for Samantha, because I know that Samantha doesn't know about it, but I know that Kenny knows about it.
To be a horrible, horrible co-host, I need to go to the fucking washroom. I'm
you
not
go to
doing
the
the
washroom.
same thing as last week.
I'm talking about Leffen. So Leffen,
Okay.
he's a jackass in the community. I think I talked about this last time you were on. Leffen is an asshole.
Yes.
Chillin' got sick of it, so he wrote a rap about it. About how he should shut up, about how they're going to money match, which is they lay money on the line, they fight, big whoop. It was a best of 5. So whoever first won 5, or not best of 5, it was first to 5. So whoever first won 5 matches won the money match.
Okay.
Leffen 5-0'd Chillin'.
Oh, rip.
So Chillin' called him out for being trash and talking smack, and got 5-0. It wasn't just money on the line. You know in Smash that each character has different color schemes, right? Mm-hmm. You can pick different colors. Chillin' was fighting Leffen over his color. So Chillin' wasn't allowed to use his color in tournament anymore for 2 years. The Big House 6 put an end to it. There is a picture online of Chillin' and Leffen hugging and joking, and now Chillin's allowed to use his color again.
Oh, jeez.
I'm very surprised that these guys just randomly made up.
Like...
It's Leffen's first tournament
like
back.
Kids.
I know, right? And they're like 20-somethings. But Leffen, his first tournament back, just makes up with Chillin' Dude out of nowhere. It's been 2 years. Everyone still makes fun of it. So yeah, and Leffen came to this tournament, like I said at the beginning of this podcast, to not compete, but just to play. And he didn't play his main, he played Falco. The other Spacey.
Okay.
Kenny, to bring you back up to speed, Leffen was playing Falco the whole tournament.
Shows how unamused I am by him. Anyways, moving on.
So, Leffen's Falco placed 17th. Not bad, but he got taken out by Swedish Delight, which is kind of a meh player that nobody really puts on their radar. So, to know that Leffen's Falco can still place as high as 17 is pretty incredible. Westball's another Falco player, got his entire tournament taken away from him by Ice Climbers. So, since you guys probably don't know, Ice Climbers has an infinite combo, 0 to death, that you can do.
Stupid wobbles.
That's what happened to Westballs. he got wobbled right out of the tournament. I thought that West Balls had a shot at making at least top 8. He's one of my favorite players. I have a bias towards West Balls. He's probably the best Falco in North America. Okay. I'm talking a lot. Anybody have anything they want to say while I'm going here?
Nope.
Not yet.
Keep going.
Top 8 singles.
Oh, you.
I'm going to straight up start with Cloud9 is amazing. Mango wins.
Yeah, baby.
So this is Mango's. So Mango won the last one. What the hell was the last tournament I watched? No, not Shine. Because Mewtwo King won Shine. Anyway, Mango's been winning tournaments again. So yay, Mango. Cloud9 wins. Your top 8 was Mango, Armada, Ice, Mewtwo King, Hungrybox, SFAT, Wizrobe, and Pew Pew U. Ain't much to say about Pew Pew U and Wizrobe. I'm going to just come right out and say it. They performed poorly. Even Pew Pew U going against a mentally disturbed Hungrybox. So, Hungrybox is sick of Fox. Yeah.
He's starting to do that.
Yeah, because he played his heart out for Evo. But even at Evo, you could see how much of a struggle the Puff-Fox matchup is.
Yeah, for sure.
I am getting Steam notifications. I'm on a podcast! And people can hear my Steam notifications. I'm sorry about that. So, that is one of... I consider Puff-Fox the worst matchup in Smash. Fox just has easy ways to kill her and doesn't really have to worry about her at all. And whenever Hungrybox enters a tournament, all the way up to top 8, and in top 8, there's just a gauntlet of good Foxes. And that's sort of what's been happening with Smash as a whole, is that there's just these onslaught of good Foxes coming out. They're like, even in not that Fox that didn't make top 8, Silent Wolf did incredible this tournament. So these Foxes are just stepping their game up, and that's a huge problem for Hungrybox, who wanted Evo so badly, wanted to be the best in the world so badly. Got it, and now I feel like now that he has it, he just isn't playing to that level of seriousness. It hurts to go against a Fox now, whereas before he wanted to prove himself against a Fox. So, after losing to SFAT before top 8, going into top 8, he actually tweeted out and said, "To my fans, do not watch top 8. I don't want to let you down." And then,
Aww.
I know he looked rough. I might throw up some links to some VODs in the description of the YouTube video, but Hungrybox just looked rough. His first match against Pew Pew U in losers semis, I think it is. It might be losers quarters. He was doing just kind of dumb things to make himself laugh, which is good to get himself back in a positive mind frame. But he looked like he was struggling to even do that. He was doing weird moves that would obviously be very easily punished, but he actually won against Pew Pew U. So that just goes to show how unimpressive Pew Pew U was doing in top 8. Because even a very disturbed Hungrybox could just stomp him easily. And then his next opponent was Armada, which there was some drama there as well. So Armada goes into the winners semis against Mango. It was a very close game. It was it went down to game 5, last stock, I'm pretty sure. And Armada actually looked like he was favored to take it, but Mango reverse 3-0'd him. Armada got sent down to losers and he was told on stage that he would have to fight the winner of Mewtwo King Wizrobe, which he knew was going to be Mewtwo King, because Mewtwo King Wizrobe, I'm pretty sure Wizrobe has never taken a game off Mewtwo King. So the 2 7th place players, not impressive. Moving on. Armada was told he would fight Mewtwo King. He went to warm up against Marth Sheik. Then he had to go play Hungrybox. It came out.
Hi, truck.
Yeah, there's just a lot of noises going on. I'm just going to talk about Smash for a bit.
Compensation. Anyways.
So Armada has half an hour to warm up against another Puff player before going to face Hungrybox. Didn't really matter because Hungrybox was kind of not in a good mind frame. And he still did pretty well against Armada, even being in this kind of depressed state. So Hungrybox gets eliminated by Armada.
Mm-hmm.
It was then Armada versus Mewtwo King, I believe. It's very hard for me to remember this. But I will talk about Armada versus Mewtwo King because it did happen. And Mewtwo King lost to Armada. Mewtwo King then came out and said that every Fox has such an easier time with floaties that he's considering picking up Fox just for the Armada matchup. I agree with this because both Marth and Sheik do not have good answers to how floaty Peach is and how she can live to 200%. You shouldn't be doing that, and Fox can kill her 100% or 80% quicker than Marth or Sheik. So I'm kind of interested to see how Mewtwo King's Fox levels up. And going forward to, I think it's Smash Summit will be the next time Armada and Mewtwo King meet. If not, Canada Cup. Because Armada actually said on stream that he's going to Canada Cup this year. That's awesome. And two of the major players that I want to talk about the most, actually, is Ice and SFAT. Ice, a German player, who has been in the scene for quite a long time, but has never been on the big, or not, I wouldn't say never. He rarely is on the big stage because his nerves get the better of him. He doesn't like playing against top players. He feels very, I guess, just nervous. Nervous is the best way to put it. Anxiety gets the better of him every time he plays in these tournaments. Ice was on fire this tournament. Ice 3-1'd SFAT. Ice, the only person that bodied Ice was Mango. Are you okay?
True. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, Sammy's giggling to herself.
Every time I hear somebody say body, I think of like Jensen bodying fools, and it makes me giggle. I'm sorry.
Well
yeah,
done.
sorry. I use that term a lot in reference to fighting games. So, Ice was amazing. SFAT was amazing too, except against Ice. It's these wild card foxes that are just leveling up so much. But the thing I was going to talk about earlier was the reason I asked if CLG was Counterlogic Gaming is two of Counterlogic Gaming's players, Pew Pew U and SFAT, both made top 8 this tournament, and they won doubles. So that's pretty exciting.
That's pretty exciting for them, yeah.
Yeah, that these teammates are actually doing so well, both individually and together. And yeah, Mango versus Armada, grand finals, which we're always very happy to see that. It's just remnant of Genesis 1, 2, and 3. Mango already took, I think it was Big House 4, so this is his second Big House win. But the second time that Armada and Mango met, the bracket got reset in Armada's favor. They were both in losers, and Mango took it, I'm pretty sure, 3-1 in the second set. So, and Mango was, in all the interviews that I saw with Mango, he said he was playing awful. And I agree. The amount of times that man self-deathed,
Yeah.
the amount of,
Oh my god.
he side B'd off the stage so many times. And he messed up his edge dashes and stuff like that. And the only one I would say he played pretty solid against was Armada. So yeah, that's what happened with Big House. Lots of upsets with a lot of strong players being knocked out. I wanted to talk a little bit actually about this player that it's the very first time I've ever seen him. I talked about him a little bit, the Marth players. Rudolph. Rudolph was a Japanese
Red-nosed reindeer.
He was a red-nosed reindeer.
It's not Christmas, it's Halloween.
He's a
You could
Japanese.
dress up as a reindeer.
Well, it's actually kind of funny. I'm gonna say it.
Exactly. See, Samantha's already doing it. We're there. It's already here.
So Rudolph, I can't pantomime it. First of all, I'm not on camera for you guys. I'm only on camera for the stream, and so I'm gonna try to describe it as best I can. Rudolph has a weird way of playing. So Hungrybox plays standing up. That's a weird way of playing Smash. Rudolph plays with his knees on one chair. He has another chair that's brought in front of him where he crouches down and puts his elbows on that chair, and he's sitting in like doggy style position. I'm not kidding. So he is kind of like a reindeer. He's on all fours playing Smash like that. He's a weird guy.
All he needs is antlers and a red nose.
I really wish that
Perfect.
somebody would have like went over and put antlers on
Antlers
him.
on him?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It was really funny. But the
I'm getting so many weird images in my mind right now.
if you want to watch a really good set with Rudolph, watch Rudolph versus Ice. I'm pretty sure it was in top 16 or top 32. But it was he was a good Marth, and I really do wish that he placed higher. But that match was pretty awesome. The ending, or the weird sitting position of Rudolph, was funny. The ending, they actually like Ice popped off and then gave him a hug, and then he kind of got sad, and then they went up and gave him another hug. It was the most pure Smash moment I've ever seen, where it was like,
Nah.
I love
I-
how Corey stopped.
I'm just
Because
looking
of
at what the hell Kenny is doing.
We're not dirty-minded people at all.
Well, Sam's on her phone or something.
I know Sam's
I'm
not
just-
paying attention, so it makes it even better.
I'm actually looking at Smash stats on my phone. Anyways, it's fine.
Because Sam was the one who brought up how she had so many images.
So that's.
So many.
I'm glad that everybody sat through my discussion of Big House 6.
Hey, I was paying attention.
I was
awkward
paying
motions.
attention. I
I've-
was looking at stats on my phone
I felt like I was
and
giving
then
a lecture.
questioning you.
This was you giving a presidential election speech, man.
I
We were grading your performance.
would campaign
I'd give
for
that a
Mango.
solid B.
I would campaign for Mango any day of the week for president of the United States.
I would campaign for C9 period,
Yeah, right.
right?
So it was another exciting tournament with a lot of upsets and a fantastic Armada versus Mango Grand Finals. It honestly didn't disappoint. I said it while we were watching it that I am kind of sick of the five gods. I am kind of sick of watching these five gods continuously place top 3, top 4, top 5, and only win against each other. I did want to see someone like Ice win. I did want to see someone like SFAT win. But Mango being the favorite out of all of the gods, I'm really happy that he performed the way he did, even if it was a little shaky. And that's my coverage of Big House 6. Any questions from the class?
No, I'm
No
good.
questions. What questions?
I'm gonna go back and watch all of this
Yeah,
when I eat my supper.
it's super exciting.
A little bit too late.
I could
If you
link
give me more lead time,
I can link you a few matches that will blow your mind.
please.
So that's pretty much all we have to talk about for the Nerf This podcast this week. This is podcast episode 7. A little more world stuff coming in the coming weeks. I'm sure we'll have Sammy on a few more times in that time.
And I may have some possibilities of people for guests of my end as well.
And
We'll wait.
I do have a desire to get Doc on maybe next week for Smash Summit. So look forward to that. And look forward to everything we have to say about Worlds in the coming weeks as well.
It'll blow your minds.
Anything that anybody else wants to say? Besides
No.
Kenny
Get
Get your
Ed comment.
pick'ems done.
Kenny getting really
That's my Ed comment.
Kenny getting really
comment.
sensual with the microphone there. So I'm going to do that too for the closing. Hold up, you ready? I'm going to bring this microphone over here. This has been the Nerf This podcast, everybody. Thanks for watching.
And we're all sexy people.
Bye, everybody.